The distress call came from mining station Omega-7, located in neutral space where 3 empires intersected. Commander Threll of the Axiom Empire received it first, his ship only 2 parsecs away. Survivors? He asked his communications officer. 1 life sign, Commander. Species, human. Designation: Maintenance Engineer First Class, Rachel Torres. Threll's tendrils darkened with amusement. A single human engineer? Against the Devourers? She'll be dead before we arrive. The Devourers were the galaxy's nightmare. A hive-mind species that consumed technology and organic matter alike, leaving dead worlds in their wake. They'd hit Omega-7 with 3 harvester ships. The station's 800 inhabitants from various species hadn't stood a chance. Except, apparently, for 1 human engineer. When Threll's ship arrived 6 hours later, they found something impossible. The 3 Devourer ships were dead in space, their biomechanical hulls ruptured from within. Mining station Omega-7 was somehow still partially functional, its lights flickering but alive. Scan for Devourer signatures, Threll ordered. None detected, Commander. But this doesn't make sense. I'm reading massive structural changes to the station. They docked carefully. Inside, they found Rachel Torres in what used to be the station's cafeteria, now transformed into some kind of command center. She was covered in grease, blood, both hers and something green, and was drinking coffee from a cracked mug. About time someone showed up, she said, not looking up from the maze of rewired consoles she'd built. Fair warning. Don't go into sections C through F. The traps are still active. Traps? Threll approached cautiously. You killed 3 harvester ships. How? Rachel finally looked up, her eyes holding a 1,000-yard stare that Threll had only seen in battle-hardened veterans. Engineering isn't just about making things work. It's about understanding how things fail. She pulled up a holographic display showing the station's new configuration. Threll's tactical officer gasped. The human had turned the entire mining station into a weapon. The Devourers consume technology, right? Rachel explained, her voice oddly calm. But they're biological. They process what they eat. So I fed them something special. She'd reversed the stations or processing systems, creating a feedback loop that produced a specific electromagnetic frequency, harmless to most technology, but it caused a resonance cascade in the Devourers' biocircuits. She turned their own digestive process against them. When the first wave boarded, she continued, I let them into Section C. They started consuming the walls, the circuits, everything. 30 seconds later, they were convulsing. Their hive-mind connection transmitted the agony to the others. They tried to retreat. But you didn't let them, Threll observed, noting the sealed blast doors. Rachel's smile was grim. The station's life support system became a weapon. I turned the air recyclers into plasma vents, the water system into a delivery mechanism for superheated steam. The artificial gravity, cranked it to 15 times standard in specific corridors, creating kill zones. The second harvester ship had tried to breach directly into the engineering section. Rachel had been waiting. She jury-rigged the station's mining lasers, designed to break apart asteroids, into point defense weapons. The ship's belly had been carved open like a can. The third ship tried to be smart, Rachel said. They sent in their warrior drones, thinking I couldn't affect pure biological units. But every engineer knows the first rule of space stations: we control the environment. She'd vented atmosphere in precise patterns, creating vacuum corridors that sucked the drones into space. Those that adapted and magnetized to the hull found themselves in sections she'd flooded with industrial coolant at -200°C. You did all this in 6 hours? Threll's voice held something new: fear. No, Rachel corrected. I did this in 4 hours. The last 2 hours I spent making sure no Devourer data packet escaped to warn the hive. She gestured to a corner where dozens of small, spider-like Devourer scouts were frozen in industrial foam. They tried to scatter. I hunted every single one. Word spread through the galaxy faster than light. A single human engineer had not just survived a Devourer attack. She turned a civilian mining station into a fortress of death. The Devourers, who had never known fear, added human engineers to their avoid at all costs list. But it was Rachel's final report to Earth that became legend. Station compromised but operational. 3 hostile vessels neutralized. Requesting replacement coffee maker, mine took a plasma hit. Also need 800 body bags. The other inhabitants didn't make it, but I've ensured their technology won't be used against others. Will await relief crew. P.S. Sending Devourer biosamples. Might make good fertilizer. The message was clear across the galaxy. Never leave a human engineer with nothing to lose and everything to protect. Rachel Torres became the first human to receive the Galactic Medal of Survival. She turned it down, requesting instead a transfer to a quiet space station where, in her words, the coffee maker works and aliens don't try to eat my workplace. The Devourers never attacked another human installation.